So they have had and there could be several reasons for this, a drop in ranking, like people searching for their business. It's not coming up, and there are a couple of problems that I need to talk to them about and work on. But I wasn't sure, is that something that, like, so some of the things in Google Business, Google Search Console, they have 2 pages. They have like different, they've got duplicate content. So
okay, well, let's start there. Let's just kind of flow chart this.
Okay.
You say they've stopped showing up, and where are you? How are you measuring their stop showing up?
Let me check.
In other words, why did they think they've stopped showing up?
So, and actually, now that I'm saying that, seeing this, I think that they are having, yeah, okay, I see. Okay. I think they're having some other issues that I need to talk to them about. And I don't think it's not in the right in searches. They're having some issues on the map. And now there's some different things going on with Google, and like for service area businesses, there's something called the Kansas bug. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but like if you're a service area business, you hide your address. When people search in your location, they should find you. Well, sometimes Google somehow behind the scenes gets mixed up. And so what do? They take your country and they put you in the dead center of the country, which is somewhere in Kansas.
Well, as a Kansan, I'm not offended by that, but I can see how if I was a service area business, I would be.
Yes, yeah. So I think now that looking at when I search, and I'm right now doing just a brand search, and I am finding them fine on Google search organic, and it's the map that's having a problem, and I do think that that's why. So
in the Google My Business analytics, are you seeing a decline in impressions? Because one of the things we want to do first is determine, is there objective data here before we conclude. So sometimes clients will come to me and be like, I'm not finding myself or whatever. Yeah. So I want to rule out a user error on their part.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Something weird that they're doing wrong. And so I want to confirm that with data like drop in analytics, drop in traffic, drop in impressions. And that's where, I know you agree with the data in Google My Business is really bad. But the impression data, I'd like to give Google the benefit of the doubt that they are telling me the truth.
Yeah. So they've had a drop in the last 2 weeks, week and a half.
What percentage or ratio would you estimate the drop is?
Let me see. Half. They're getting half the traffic.
Okay. So that is the significant decline. So that does suggest something's going on. And so then we can go to, so we're confident something's really affecting them. Then we can say, okay. And so tell me more about this Kansas bug that's showing people in the center of the country rather than.
Yeah, but I'm having a hard time just determining is this actually the case for them? And the reason is because it's like when I search for them, and this is something I'm checking on other places. When you search for do a branded search, and normally you come up at the top of the Google Map search, but you have to scroll way down. That's part of it. But the thing is, I kind of sometimes when you did it and you were searching, all of a sudden, and you would click on them, it would kind of move to the center of the US, and you're like, well, that's not where they are. But when I do that, they're not moving to the center of the US. So I'm not sure exactly if that's what's happening or not.
Okay.
So and it's some kind, and it happened, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it kind of got fixed. And now it seems that there are more reports of it. So it's some kind of Google bug that we've got to report and figure out. But I do think that I want to check and make sure that that's what it is.
So as someone who looks at this frequently, have you noticed any new competitors showing up?
No.
Okay. So because one of the, everybody ultimately is a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
And so they say, it's me that's the fault, right? Or maybe it's lack of confidence. It's my fault. But sometimes when competitors show up, we show up less. And so they could be bounced out because a new competitor showed up or just recently started doing marketing. I've noticed that when people start doing things sometimes in Google will artificially inflate them. And I think Google does that for a couple reasons. Number one, they want you to think, oh yeah, this Google stuff's awesome. And they give you a little bit of a boost. But two, Google wants to see if your new thing, it's A/B testing you. It's testing to see if your new thing will perform. So if there are no new competitors pushing them down, then I'd look in Google My Business to see if any recent suggestions, because you know how they will show you someone has given you new information on your profile?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there anything like that?
I have, this one isn't a full client that I'm working on, so I need to ask them about that.
Because I noticed with one of my clients, Google My Business listings, someone nefariously went in and changed their state.
Ooh, wow. Yes, and those are things like you'll typically see like when you go and log in, there'll be like the little edit thing, and it'll have a red dot, and that's where you click on and see where things, if something has changed, and you need to go in, either accept it if it's correct and reject it if it's not correct.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's really good to keep up with it. I sometimes will forget to, but keep up, because I've noticed things like that.
Yes.
Okay. Other things I'd want to check is there a seasonality to their business? So right now it's the beginning of fall. And so it's a transition period in the United States. So for some businesses, that means, business picks up because business is very slow in the summer, but other businesses are very high in the summer. And when people go back to school, business tanks. We want to rule out some sort of seasonality.
Yeah.
Have you looked at Google Trends for their space? Because that's going to show us how people search. And what you can do is you can look back the last, 5 years, and you might see a hump in summer and then a decline in September. And that, because impressions is a function of searches, you can have impressions can be affected by not only things like you're not showing up or a Google glitch or something like that, but it can show up as less people search for you. The other thing along that line is oftentimes clients don't, they segment their marketing such that they say, this is the SEO job and this is the other marketing job. And they don't think they matter to each other. So they don't tell you, oh, I just stopped a major billboard. And so if they stopped a form of marketing, that might have been, like, for instance, affecting their brand searches. Like, let's say that big billboard. And that big billboard was, normally billboards like that are pretty poor investments, but they can inflate people searching for a business's name. And so if you stop doing something like that, that might result. So you might ask, like, have you, recently changed any of your marketing tactics? Have you, stopped doing paid Facebook ads? Have you, did the new yellow page come out and you decide not to pay for that this year, right?
Yeah.
What's happened recently to rule out other things that can make SEO go out? And so these kinds of issues are worth having conversation. And
Yeah.
what's great about these conversations is they can really, especially if, like you said, this isn't quite a client yet,
Yeah.
you can really show the value you bring to say, hey, you need me to keep up for this stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But those are the things offhand that I would check.
Yeah. Okay, that definitely helps. I've got a few things I want to talk with them about. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I always I need to get that on my list because I sometimes forget about Google Trends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Everybody does.